All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all around the whole automotive enthusiast world, it's time once again for a brand new episode of V8 Radio. And I'm Kevin Oster, your host, as always, joined by our esteemed co-host, Mr. Mike Q-Ball Clark.
Hello, my good friend.
Hello to you, too. And welcome to a fresh new episode.
Of a Toppin episode of V8 Radio.
Wow.
And Kevin, that's a little bit of a tease for the early part of the show. Toppen is a Swedish word meaning cool, super, or keen.
Oh, right on. And with any luck, we might hit any one of those adjectives.
We may. I have high hopes.
It's a Toppin episode. Right on.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's cool. And yeah, we'll reveal why the Swedish connection momentarily. But typically, as we start this show, because this is an automotive-related show, we throw out a trivia question, right? Trivia being something that's generally not important.
So, unlike our show, which is very important.
Right. It's Toppin.
It is.
Did you happen to prepare a trivia question this time?
I did prepare a trivia question this time, and we'll let it out of the gates here. And I have to preface this one, and I have to give full credit to my friend and neighbor, Robert Borger, for this question. He kind of threw dropped some knowledge on me the other day that led me to this question. Kevin, you undoubtedly have heard of the Ford Fairlane in your comings and goings of the automotive world.
I have. As I come and go in the automotive world, the term Fairlane...
The Fairlane does come up.
It comes up every once in a while. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
From where did the Ford Fairlane name derive?
So, to rephrase, why is the Ford Fairlane named a Fairlane?
Yes.
What's it named?
Where did the Ford Fairlane get its name?
That is an interesting question. This is no doubt in response to why is a Jeep CJ called a CJ?
Well, I didn't really want to go there, but if you want to, sure.
Sure. I'm smart enough to make that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. The Fairlane is it was a smaller to mid-size Ford, small Ford, if you will, when it started. And and if we do, etymology, if you break down the words and dissect the words fair and lane and correlate that to the size of the car, none of that has anything to do with the reason why it's called Fairlane. If I'm not mistaken, Fairlane was the name of Henry Ford's estate. And the car was named after that. Now, what I don't know is why one day the marketing group woke up and said, we'll just name this car after Henry's house. You know, I don't know that story. But I'm pretty sure that the Fairlane was named after Fair Lane. And you'll notice my different inflection. I'm accenting a different syllable as I say Fair Lane.
Yes, Fair Lane.
Yeah. So next time you're at a car show, point to a 63 Ford and say, that's a very nice Fair Lane you have there. And see what the response is if they let you stay.
All right.
So that's
right on. Okay, so Kevin says it's named after Henry Ford's estate. All right. Duly noted.
Which I've never been to, but I heard it's pretty cool. The whole Ford Museum and everything. You ever been up there?
I have not.
I've been told, cool. And I don't know if it's true or not. Well, it's not just a car museum. They have all kinds of Americana and cool stuff on display, including, and again, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard.
A Fairlane?
There's probably, but there's a full-size Holiday Inn hotel sign on display.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know, I'm a huge Americana fan, and recently I've been just fascinated by the Holiday Inn sign. It's known as the Great Sign, And it's
Okay.
You remember what it looks like? It's got the big arrow that points towards the hotel, and it's the green background with the script Holiday Inn and the star that blinks up on the top and the yellow bulbs and all that stuff. And then a marquee, if you will. They could put letters on it like "Welcome Plumbers Union," or, whatever. Congratulations, Bob and Sandy. Or in the Blues Brothers, the Murph and the Magic Tones and the Armada Room.
Right, the Armada Room.
And interestingly, that very Holiday Inn was on Mannheim Road, not far from where I grew up, terribly far from where you live, basically right next to O'Hare. I don't know if it's a Holiday Inn branded hotel anymore, but I remember driving past that sign, right where the Blues Brothers pulled in and they blew up the phone booth. Yeah. So anyway, that's my tangent for the Henry Ford Museum.
Okay. Right on. Yeah. Sounds like a cool place.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so I will reciprocate with a trivia question for you.
Dig it.
Well, you dig it now, but you haven't heard it.
Oh, great. Yeah, well, I know how this is going to go already.
Okay, well, dealing with, we're talking about Americana and pop culture and whatnot. There was a hit song from 1951, and it was called Rocket 88.
Okay.
All right. And we can probably guess that it was inspired by the Oldsmobile Rocket 88, because that was kind of the hot car back in 51.
Mm-hmm.
But why is this particular song significant?
Why is this song significant? Well, Kevin, Rocket 88 was derived from the space race. America was big into rockets, and
I will remind you that the song was from 1951. So.
Yeah, right. Okay. Why? I will say Rocket 88 was the first car-themed song to break into the Hot 100 on the Billboard charts.
Oh, nice. Very nice. All right,
Thank you.
Let's see here. First car-themed song. I want to get this right because this might be right.
Holy cow. Don't tease me. Don't you tease me with a good time, mister.
All right. Well, that is also duly noted.
Dig it, man. Dig it.
Nice work.
Thanks. Yeah. Good question.
I thought so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. So you teased us with what was the word?
Tuppen.
Tuppen.
Toppen. Tuppen.
Ooh,
is how it's
Tuppen. And so the Swedish connection there is we're doing a couple of shout-outs, which we do occasionally. But one of them is to our friend Johan Olsson from Sweden. And Johan is a listener to this program here. And sometimes it's still funny to me to say that, to envision people actually sitting back and listening to this, like they're all huddled around the radio. I know that's not how it is, but
like an FDR fireside chat.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's a garage side babble. But anyway, I got a great email from Mr. Johan Olsson, and he says, "Hi, Kev. First and foremost, thanks for the joy, passion, and education that you, crew, and Cue Ball bring via V8 Radio and V8 TV." So,
hey, that's me.
That's you. And
right on.
Isn't that nice? That was very cool.
That was cool.
And Johan goes on to explain that he and I have a couple things in common. My dad used to be a police officer, and Johan also was a police officer and will be one again. He's doing some private sector work at the time. And he also points out that he's a veteran of 5 missions abroad, 2 of them in Afghanistan. So Mr. Johan is a warrior as well. he also goes on to point out that he was a teenager in the 90s and loved basketball. And I'm a big fan of Michael Jordan and got to experience all that stuff. And he's also a big car guy. And he's from the, not to really reveal too many personal details about Mr. Johan here, but he's from Sweden, and he hangs out at a car event called Wheels and Wings, and he shared a picture of his Mustang, right? So he's...
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's got a great-looking Mustang. And he sent this picture of him in his Swedish uniform. He's got the white hat and the gold buttoned banded black coat. It's the short coat.
Yeah.
With the white. I don't know the proper terminology for this, but
I don't either.
It looks almost like a Navy, naval
right.
Dress uniform. So this is like fully formal. By his 65 Mustang, and the picture was taken in front of the Queen's Castle where the Swedish royal couple lives. And Johan has this big smile on his face, and he looks like a guy you don't want to mess with, which is
yeah, cool. Definitely.
Yeah. And anyway, Johan wrote us this nice letter because he's coming to the States for his 40th birthday and wanted to go take in a Bulls game, and unfortunately. I'm not going to be able to attend because I'm going to be at the SEMA Show in November when he's in Chicago. But he's going to come tour the shop and meet the guys. And I just wanted to say thank you to Johan for listening and for sending this letter. And I hope that I'm able to come back in town when he comes to visit the shop. I'm sad that I'm going to miss the opportunity to go to the Bulls game with him,
right?
Because this guy undoubtedly has some experiences that would be probably a heck of a lot of fun to hang out with.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure he's got a few stories to tell.
Yes. And if he shows up in this uniform, Chicago's going down. I'm just telling you. You better be prepared.
Right on. No doubt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty cool that he took the time to write that to you. That was really nice. So thank you, Johan.
Yes, and the other interesting shout out we're going to do is to our friend Ken West. And Ken, much like Johan's intention, Ken came to the V8 Speed and Resto shop about a week ago on a visit provided by his job. He was able to kind of swing through the area. And Ken is known as Pontiac Ken on the V8 TV forum. And the forum, there's a whole story there about the direction of automotive forums these days, which might make an interesting topic. But Ken had been posting the build thread of his GTO. And
it's actually a 67 Le Mans.
It's a Le Mans, correct. And,
yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Pontiac.
It's all right, man. Just, hey, trying to keep it above board.
Keep me in line. Yeah. What I meant to say is that his Le Mans is following kind of the pattern that we laid out building the 66 GTO that we did for our friend Stefan back in 2008 on V8 TV. It was one of our earlier project cars. And that was also an LS powered GTO at the end, right? So.
Yep. Yes, it is.
But Ken came to town and Rod in our shop gave him a tour of the place, and Ken and I got to hang out for a few minutes. And it was really cool to put a face to the name and hang out and chat with him. And I kind of got the update on his car and where he's at. And, he's very typical of a lot of us that have a project car in the garage that only moves forward when we have time, and finances to work on it. But he's doing the vast majority of the work himself. Kind of like somebody else I know working on a GTO in the garage.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah. But it was really cool to meet Ken. So thanks for coming by, Ken. And we encourage people, if you want to come tour the shop and say hello, you're more than welcome to. Maybe it's a good idea to call in advance, or if you're coming from Sweden or somewhere else, shoot us an email so that we can try to coordinate better and make sure that, whoever you want to see is there. In Johan's case, I'm really trying, and I emailed him back, but I didn't get a response. So I don't know if my email went to spam. So maybe if he hears this, if he's truly a listener, Johan, check your spam folder because I might be stuck in it.
I tend to go to spam quite a bit.
I live in there. So
Right.
yeah. So right on.
Dig it. Yeah. That Ken is doing quite a bit of work on that 67 of his. It's
Oh yeah.
He's really going through it. So it'll be a nice runner when he's all done.
Well, and where I was going too is with the automotive forum world. That has changed so much. I mean, 10 years ago, you spent all your time on forums. I spent all my time on forums, and that was before social media really took off.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of sucks, because the forums were cool.
They are cool,
and
they still are cool in my opinion, but they just don't get the love that they once had.
Yeah, no, and exactly. I'm not saying they're dead or they're not cool anymore. It's just that there's everybody's burning all their days on Facebook, and I guess on Insta and on some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem that we have is that like on our own forum, on the V8 forum, we've got project cars that we've started there, and people can interact and post pictures and stuff, and you can always go back to that.
Right. That's true.
And like Ken's car, I can go back right now and dig up the very first post that he made and find it easily. And my own 70 Riv, I got a whole story on that thing from day one.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you can have a Facebook page about your car, but it's like as soon as your news feed changes, it's gone. And you can post a picture, but you can't attach files. And
right.
It's far too public, I think, in many ways, because everybody in the world is, throwing rocks at each other, and it's just not anywhere near as cool. So,
yeah, that is true. I mean, typically automotive forums are very specialized. In addition to the V8 TV forums that I would go to quite a bit, I spent a lot of time on the Performance Years forums, which was typically a Pontiac only forum, and there was fantastic knowledge on that forum that would get dropped there every day. I mean, chances are, if you needed to do something to your project, if you wanted to put a Jeep quick ratio steering box, you can just do a search and somebody did it, and they know all the pitfalls, all the ins and outs. Automotive forums are great for stuff like that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Social media has just put everything, in one app at your fingertips. And that is why I think a lot of the automotive forums have gone away. Because everything is done on your phone. Forums are really good to look at when you're at your laptop or at your desktop computer, just because of the formatting. But there are other apps that do allow you to see forums better, like, what the heck is the name of that app? Let me...
Oh, there was the Tapatalk app?
Tapatalk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tapatalk is an app that, like you're saying, allows you to see the pictures and read the stuff in a thread format, but on a small screen. And it'll take a forum and reformat it to fit the screen better if the forum software didn't do it on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, it never worked right with our forum. It worked well for about a month, I think, and then something changed, and then I couldn't use the Tapatalk thing anymore. But interestingly, our V8 forum does lay out pretty well on mobile. So it's just that, our shop has grown so much that, I was the guy writing all the threads on all the cars.
Right.
And when you've got, 20 cars in the shop at once, and today it's amazing because we typically have Ben or myself go through and take a lap and get photographs of things as they're being built. But now we've got 3 other tablets that the shop owns that are floating around that the technicians take pictures on their own as they're working.
That's great.
It is great. And all the pictures immediately upload to an online server, and then I do a little bit of work to get them to populate the appropriate customer's photo gallery. Mm-hmm. But now I'm putting up 300 to 400 pictures a day.
Wow! Yeah. Holy cow!
Yeah, in some cases when we're doing like really heavy detail work.
That's huge.
It is. So if I were to write that story on each one of these cars, on the forum, I could hire 5 guys to write it, and it wouldn't happen. So that's part of the thing with our own forum, is that the traffic driving of putting up all the threads and stories, I haven't had time to do as much. So there's not a whole lot of people that are doing that right now on ours, but Ken still does as he makes his updates. And we have another guy named Ben who's building El Camino, and he's been sharing updates, and that's pretty cool. And this guy named Cue Ball used to do the Cool Song Friday. But,
that dirty dog.
I'm not sure what happened there.
Oh, the demise of the forum happened. Gosh,
yeah. The rise of Facebook happened.
Right. Facebook has me now.
Yeah, that was cool though, and a lot of those songs that you posted, I still go back, through the forum and dig those up because there's a lot of good stuff.
Nice.
There.
Well, thanks. That's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all the motivation I need to breathe new life into that thread.
Well, we'll invite everybody to go to v8tvshow.com and click the link. You can find it at the V8 Radio navigation bar too, and v8radio.com. Click the forum, and feel free to add your favorite song to the Cool Song Friday thread. Not to put pressure on Mike because he's got far too much to do too, but
the more the merrier.
Yeah, right on. And thinking about all that stuff, you had a thread for your Pontiac on our V8 forum as well.
I did have a thread for my Pontiac on the V8 forum, and I think it's been so long since I've been able to do anything to that stinking car. I think that thread is almost caught up.
Well, so at this point, you're in this position that a lot of people are in, that are building cars who are essentially waiting for parts.
I am waiting for parts. Also, just life in general really gets in the way. Not that I shouldn't say gets in the way, but it happens, Well,
life comes first.
Yeah, my kids are growing up. They're involved in a lot of extracurricular activities that, it costs a lot of stinking money, for Pete's sake, to have your kids in band and color guard and all kinds of other stuff that they want to do. And it takes a lot of time to do. And the family comes first. So the car is going to be here. It doesn't cost me a nickel to own it. So it just sits in the garage, and when it'll be there when its turn is up. So that's how I'm looking at it now.
Yeah. So. Well, that's the way you got to look at it. And again, that's the trajectory of so many people that, like Pontiac Ken we're talking about. It takes a while to put the car together because other things are happening. I know myself, the day of the drive-in cruise event, I was driving our 62 Galaxy to the shop because I like to take that car to the drive-in event, and the top gear started slipping in the transmission, and I parked it and haven't touched it since.
Oh, dadgummit.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
But where it used to sit in your garage is now replaced by a big yellow banana boat.
That's right. Yeah. Well, so we've been working on Paul's car. We've talked about that before. We had Paul on the show, and his car has reached a point where it's real close to. I mean, it runs and drives and everything now. It needs some refinement, and some of these tasks, quite honestly, are things that I kind of want to do. And at our shop, it's funny. So we've been in business for give or take 15 years now, and I never get a chance to work on anything in the shop very much anymore, right?
That's got to be weird.
Well, it's weird, but just the way my mind works, I have to separate, kind of business from pleasure in many ways.
Sure.
We've all seen situations where the shop owner has his or her own cars in there, and sometimes even the crew is working on those cars. Right. And what that means is you're not working on customer cars. And it's our goal to service customers and have our team, work on those. So I also, we're fortunate that, we've been busy enough to keep everybody moving and keep, just about every available inch occupied with customer cars. So my stuff doesn't even go there, and it might be on a weekend or something. I'll zip in and try and change the oil or something. Right. But like everybody else, I've got a home garage. Well, not like everybody else, but like many people, I have a home garage. and a basic set of tools here. And when I get time, I can work on stuff in my garage. And I do that for the fun, for the therapy of doing it.
Sure.
Put some music on, pour a beverage, spin some wrenches.
And you have to protect the time.
You're right. You're exactly right. You're throwing my words right back at me. So
I am.
I appreciate that. But so Paul's car reached a point where there's like a handful of smaller tasks that just kind of need to be buttoned up and dialed in. And I thought, you know what? Just for fun, I think I'm going to take care of some of those on my own. And
cool.
Brought the car here. Like you pointed out, it's a big car. It's a almost 20 foot long, 62 Buick convertible. So it freed up some space in the shop. And now I get to work on my buddy's car, not necessarily the way I'd like to, which would be if he and I are working on it together. But at least, I can help him out. He's helped me out a zillion times over the years, and this is enjoyable. So it just arrived here the other day, and now I got to carve out a little time to take care of a few of the details that, I don't want to say are beneath our crew, but they're comfortable enough to where I can do these, and get some instant gratification projects.
Yeah, no doubt.
Go for the small wins.
Yeah. I hear the AC block-off plates in that thing are amazing.
They really are. That is
amazing.
It's the high point of the car.
Look at it. I'm gonna open the hood. Check out those block-off plates. Come on.
That's it. And no doubt this will return to the shop and get some of the bigger details. We had talked last time actually about our interior shop capabilities that we now have.
Right on.
This car is going to get some door panels made and get the seats restuffed and things like that.
Oh, good.
These are things that I cannot do. But again, by me taking care of some of the other smaller details, just, to help my friend out, it'll free up that opportunity to do the interior stuff at the shop. So I think, quite frankly, he's a little bit happy that it's out of his hair right now because he can actually use his garage.
No doubt.
Yeah. But soon it'll be back in his garage and he'll be able to drive it. So that's the funny thing, So my car's broke. Your car's broke. This Buick is getting closer. Paul pointed out the other day that 2021 is going to be the 25th anniversary of the Power Tour.
Oh boy.
Not 2020, but the next one.
Right.
So the gauntlet's been laid down for all these things now to maybe have a reunion tour, because that's kind of, the event that kind of officially kicked off my professional automotive career.
Right.
Was the 1996 Power Tour.
If he only knew where that Cavalier was,
well,
that would be dynamite to resurrect.
I asked him if he had anything with the VIN on it, and he's going to look. The car's been gone quite a long time, so. But as I told the story before, my mom pulled out the VIN for my dad's old motorcycle 30 years after he sold it, and it was still around. So who knows? Who knows? That would be epic, though, to resurrect the.
With the hood and everything?
The power turd, as it was known.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. That would be quite a thing. So who knows? And of course, part of my problem is working on my own stuff. There are times when I'm doing a task, thinking in my head, I want to be doing something else. Not like I'm working on this car and I really want to be mowing the lawn. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm fixing my automatic transmission, but I really want to be putting a 5-speed in this thing.
Right. Oh, yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
Or I'm changing the plugs on this 351, but boy, would I really like this to be a 427, So what that does to me in my psychology is I just stop. It's like,
oh, really? What's the point?
Right. It's not, if it's not exactly what you want, then why do it? But then I'm not making steps to do what I actually wanted to do because there's other obligations and duty and life call, and then everything gets
Sure.
kind of pushed aside. And that's why my Galaxy is parked in a storage unit down the street from our shop right now, because the transmission started to slip. No doubt that I could pull that transmission out on a Friday morning and it could be rebuilt by Monday afternoon and be driving again. But for years I've been talking about doing a Tremec 5-speed conversion in that thing.
I see.
So why put money into this when you could do it to that? And right, and that's
a viable option. I mean, what better time than now? If that's something you really wanted to do,
yeah.
It's screaming at you.
It is screaming at me, but so is a lot of other things that need to get done too. So I guess, again, getting back to my point about protecting the time, I think I got to protect that project and just make that happen. I think it's time to do that, because that car would be way more fun.
Way more fun. It would be too, man.
It would, yeah.
That'd be dynamite. Yeah.
It'd be
I mean, sometimes you got to take the projects as they come to you, despite how you have them planned out.
Well, and again, you're a family man. We don't have kids, but they always say, don't try to prepare, because there's never going to be the right time.
No,
they're going to happen when they happen, and then you're on,
and go.
Right. Well, by the time I'm 26, I'm going to have 1.2 kids. That doesn't work. No.
That's true.
Yeah. Even the best laid plans,
Yeah. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, and then your plan goes to hell.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's a movie quote that says, a plan is a list of things that don't happen.
That's even better. That's perfect.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt, man.
Well, I guess, that's more of a commentary on life. And we've been really working hard at the shop to have solid plans, for the cars that we work on and for the customers. And that's really the big secret, to getting a car done and getting everything to go kind of the way you want to. You got to know what you're building, otherwise you won't get there. So I think what I need to do is map out a bit of a plan for the 5-speed conversion. And, they say what gets measured gets changed. And like Kelly pointed out this year, if an event landed on the calendar, it's going to happen. If you just talk about it, it doesn't happen. But if it's on the calendar, it's like...
You got to abide by the calendar.
Yeah, we all do.
And don't cross Kelly. She says you're going. You're going.
Yeah, right. That's it. Well, that's the other thing. So she's also expressed interest in the 5-speed conversion. So
okay, cool.
I'm guessing if she had her way, it would already be finished.
Yeah. She's just allowing you to bide your time to come up with the correct solution, which is to put the 5-speed in there.
Yeah. She's a lot smarter and more effective than I am. For sure.
There's going to be a day when she's going to lose her patience, say, Ostie, that's it, 5-speed now.
That's probably what's going to happen, yeah.
And you're going to say, okay.
But, how lucky am I that she's not the type of person to say, Ostie, we need new carpeting, and sell that car.
Yeah.
Because that happened to my dad.
Oh, no.
He wanted to buy a Harley, and he saved up the money, and my mom's like, oh, yeah, we're going to get new carpeting now. And the Harley dream vaporized, and he never had one.
Ugh. Well, I'm pretty lucky in that respect. My Jenny has never once even hinted at selling the GTO for anything, so she knows what it means to me, and she respects it, and she loves it too, and the girls love it. So, luckily, it's been adopted as being part of the family. So,
well, and probably along the same vein, they would all love it more if it was finished.
They would love it more if it were finished. I would love it a lot more if it were finished.
But that's part of the understanding is if you could snap your fingers, you would have already.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I would.
Yeah. But we're getting to the the point of the year where things are moving indoors again, and those are good times to work on these things. And maybe you'll make maybe the parts will become available soon, and you'll be able to make some more progress.
Right on. That would be lovely.
Yeah, that's my goal anyway. With multiple projects, and also we're telling a lot of our customers. So it's funny, we have people that call us all the time and talk about a car idea, and we'll be like, okay, let's do this, and then they're like, well, it's still nice outside. I want to drive this thing till the end of the summer.
Yeah,
which makes total sense.
Yeah,
and then invariably we get like 50 people that want to bring cars in all at once. And we can't take them on, we can't do it. So I'm trying to talk to people now, and it's like, let's get your wintertime project scheduled so that we can get you in the flow.
Exactly. Get
the plan and get these things taken care of. And there's some really cool projects that a lot of these guys are talking about doing that we just need to kind of land on. And I don't know, maybe the weather needs to get a little bit worse or something, but some of these things have to get put into motion. Our friend Brandon, and here's another interesting thing that's happening right now. I shared you a picture on a text, but we're the V8 Speed and Resto shop, right? So it's primarily classics and muscle cars and American V8 powered stuff.
Right.
I've got some interesting things in the shop right now from from that 47 Dodge that we just finished. We're just about done putting the Jeep motor in. I've got a 79 Jeep CJ that came
Civilian Jeep is what that means.
That's exactly what that stands for. Civilian Jeep. It's red and lifted, and it's got a small block in it, and it's cool. It's really cool. And we just put a CB in the thing for the guy.
Oh, get out of here! Really?
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome. Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
That's exactly what it is. You look at this thing and you go, hell yeah!
Right on, man.
And then parked next to it is a 79 Toyota Land Cruiser.
Good heavens. And
it's red, and it matches. All three of these are the same color. They all match. And the Land Cruiser is just awesome. I mean, it's a four-wheel drive, off-road vehicle that I had always seen a lot of, but never really knew much about. And I still don't know much about it. We got two guys on staff that know these things top to bottom. So,
is that right?
Yeah. And our customer who owns that 39 LaSalle ambulance, we just finished that, and the Land Cruiser is his. So he's like,
oh,
hey, now that the Cadillac's done, you guys don't want to do anything with a Land Cruiser, do you? And we're like, huh? So he brought it over, and we're like, yeah, this thing's neat. And I think it's just been sitting, and it needs some help with a few mechanical details.
Okay.
But parked behind that is a 240Z that showed up.
Good heavens.
Yeah, right. So, we're like, I guess we're heavily, Japanese at this point, but a lot of cool enthusiast cars that people dig, and that's what we do is we work on cars that people dig. So these are all very special to the owners. The Land Cruiser, the Datsun 240 belonged to our customer's mother. And she loved this thing, and unfortunately I learned the day before they brought this car to us, the mother had passed away.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and
that's a shame.
The family wishes to get this thing kind of back on the road and safe and carry on with it. So we're honored to have that opportunity to work on this thing, and it's cool. Again, it's something a little bit different for the team. They love muscle cars, they love classics, but they want to constantly be challenged with new stuff, new old stuff, if you will.
Yeah, man.
So, of course, we got road runners and Camaros and a couple other pickup trucks and some fat fendered cars. And that 67 GTO is almost, it just inches from being finished.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're not abandoning all that stuff by any stretch, but it's fun to talk to people, and they say, oh, you'd work on that? If I had something. So there's another guy who's got a 71 BMW 2002.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, very cool
Those
car.
Are cool. I like those cars.
Yeah, it's basically a factory rally car, in many ways.
For sure.
And he's like, well, he's got a little bit of rust repair or something. So, yeah, maybe we'll take a look at that, but...
cool, man.
In addition to There's another 66 Ford 7-liter that wants to come in and get a full restoration. A couple of 69 Camaros, a couple of Trans Am, late 70s cars and things that, we're kind of known for as well.
Right.
But it's neat to kind of, like I said, expand the horizons a little bit and play with
mix it up
toys.
a bit.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, man. That's pretty dope. I like those 240Zs. My stepdad back in the mid 80s had an old 300ZX, the 3-liter turbo engine, and it was a cool car.
He
were
loved
cool.
It. So the 300 did his talk.
I think it did. Lights are on, or something like that. I think I remember hearing.
Door is ajar.
Yeah.
No, it's
when
a door.
When is a door not a door? When it's ajar.
When it's ajar, right. Mm-hmm. That technology, and I think we talked about this too. That might have been one of the trivia questions in a show a long time ago about the talking cars. Was that one of our topics?
I think we've talked about that before.
Nissan actually used a plastic record.
Yes, we did talk about that. That it jogged it loose. And
it was in the kick panel, and this record would play, and the different tracks were the different door is ajar or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, but those awesome. Are pretty neat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, just trying to get a lot of these people to realize that there's certain times of the year when the access is better than others. So if you're thinking about doing a project, now is the time, because springtime rolls around way too quickly, and you want this thing to be done by then. So it's
you got that right.
Yeah.
Well, we've had such beautiful weather here lately as well. It's hard to want to pack it in.
Oh, yeah, totally. For
Pete's sake, we had like a 90-degree October day the other day.
Yeah, it's been strange. I guess the summer has been extended, which is great. Mm-hmm. But what I notice is that somebody's going to flip the switch.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's going to be horrible out.
But going to wake up with a foot of snow on the ground.
Yeah, right.
Say, what the heck happened?
Right. So between all that, the other thing that I'm trying to get my mind around, last time we talked about the car show happening in Riyadh, but of course before that, the first big event of the season is SEMA. And
that's the big one.
It is the big one. And I'm super fortunate once again to be working with the SEMA organization at 5 different activations this year. So the Monday night SEMA reveal, I get to host that party again, where we pull the covers off some of the cars that are coming into the SEMA show the night before it opens.
Cool.
And last year the big surprise was that GM took that opportunity to unveil the E-Copo electric Camaro, right?
Yeah.
And this year I've been told that there's going to be something else.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I know.
Huh. What could it be?
I don't know what it is. Because I tell you what, I had no idea that it was going to be an electric Camaro last year.
Is that right?
Especially not a Copo drag race electric Camaro.
Yeah.
Last year, I honestly thought it might be something Corvette related.
Okay. Something mid-engine Corvette related last year, you thought?
I was kind of hoping, because I thought, it's a SEMA show, but at the same time, the Monday night reveal, is that going to be where Chevrolet unveils the next Corvette? Probably not.
Yeah. I get you on that. I mean, they had a pretty big reveal show for that.
It was global. Yeah, it was huge.
Oh, yeah.
So not to say that the SEMA reveal is not a big deal, but it's a media only thing.
Right.
And it's just not conducive to having that big of a thing. The main parts of the SEMA show definitely, but that Monday night deal, it's a little more intimate, which is part of the thing that I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'll be there, and then hosting the SEMA Central stage again, Monday through Friday, or Tuesday through Friday. Tuesday morning, hosting the New Products Awards breakfast banquet again, which is going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of fun, because that kind of kicks off the show. So that's like the big high energy deal. And I've learned that Jay Leno is going to be the featured guest for that.
Oh, terrific.
So that'll be cool.
Your old buddy Jay Leno.
Yeah, I am my old buddy now.
Uh-huh.
Not quite. And then Friday, the SEMA cruise. Today, as a matter of fact, the SEMA just released the official video of the SEMA cruise promo thing.
Yeah, I watched that today. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah,
I still get my industry guy news from SEMA.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're in the fold there.
That's right, man.
Joe Sebregandio and I, again, will be hosting that. But the biggest one for me this year is co-hosting the SEMA banquet on Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
And, doing that with Jared Deanda. And that's an interesting one because the banquet is a wonderful event. You recognize people in the industry, you recognize companies, kind of highlight some of the Hall of Famers that were newly inducted. It's a real positive thing. There's entertainment throughout as well, which I don't know that they've released yet. But this was traditionally, for the past couple of years anyway, was done by Jesse Combs and Jared. And before that, of course, Dave McClelland. And Jesse obviously is no longer with us. And they called me to it's a weird thing. I'm not saying step in, but that's kind of what's happening. And as you and I had talked about before this, not on the show, but
right,
it's been an interesting. It's definitely a tremendous honor for me to be able to fill that role and to bring whatever it is I bring to that stage for that night. But my mind, I just want to make sure that doing right by Jesse.
Sure.
And I'm honored that they feel that I'm talented enough to hopefully pull this off. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we did talk about this, and I know you had some, I don't want to say trepidation about it, but everyone's really going through a lot with the loss of Jesse Combs. Anyone in the automotive world who knew who she was and what she was all about, and to be asked to step into that role is a terrific honor. And like I said to you, they had to get somebody to do this because the show must go on. Yep. And it really is one hell of a compliment that they approached you to do that. So, and they know you're going to do the right thing by her and by the show. So I wouldn't think otherwise.
Well, no, and I appreciate that. It's just an interest, it's a weird way of getting there.
It is a weird way to get there.
And I think everybody recognizes that. But like you said, if they didn't think I was capable, they wouldn't have called. So
true. My
mission is to put on a great show for them, make sure this goes smoothly. And Jesse and I worked together in the past, and I really think she'd be like, yeah, that's cool, go for it. And that's what I'm taking. And Jared does a great job, and I'm sure he and I will do just fine. So it's going to be a little different for him as well, sure. Obviously.
Oh yeah,
and different for the audience and the whole thing. But it's definitely bringing a dynamic that is on a different level. It's no longer just, oh yeah, the lights are on, dummy. Don't screw up reading the lines. It's more than that now.
It's all that more and then some.
Right. But it is super cool, and I am tremendously honored that I have this opportunity, that they had the confidence to in me to be able to do this. And last week, Kelly and I were actually at SEMA in Southern California at the office, had a nice kind of pre-meeting about the show and all this stuff. And
good.
Oh yeah, everything is looking great. Those guys they're all way ahead of the game on preparation, and show's coming together, and it's going to be dynamite. So really looking forward to it. So
dig it.
It's the biggest automotive aftermarket event in the world. And if you're an exhibitor, if you're a show goer, if you are part of the show staff, every aspect, even just being an attendee, is grueling because there's so much.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
Yeah, so much to see, so much to do, more so if you're working it. So it's this giant thing to look forward to. And then as it's happening, it's almost out of body. It's like you're almost a spectator in your own world as this thing goes by. And then when it's all done, it's like, I can't believe that happened. It just, this
did that just happen?
Right, yeah.
Where am I?
And you almost need, what was the movie with one of the reality TV parodies, The Truman Show or something? The guy was on camera the whole time.
Oh, right,
you almost need somebody to document your whole week there just so that you can replay it later and go,
right.
What just happened?
I don't remember even being there.
Yeah, right, yeah. It's so adrenal ahead of time, and especially all the guys that are thrashing to build cars, right now and transport them. And there are companies building new displays right now. And I mean, it's, and Foose said it, I think, interestingly last year, where it's not that you push things to the deadline, it's that you take every available second that you have.
Sure.
To keep going and keep refining and working on stuff. So,
well, I remember from the Monday night reveals when Fu showed up with that 57 Chevy.
Yeah.
And he said, well, we were going to bring this other car, but, we were having trouble getting parts. So we had to make call an audible, and then we got to get this thing thrashed to get done. And he's like, oh, whoa. Do you hear that, folks? Even Chip Foose has trouble getting parts.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I say to you right now.
Yeah.
You and Foose got that going. Did you ever wash that hand, by the way?
Well, got my chip hand. Yep. Got it right here.
Awesome. Your chip hand is going to have its own, mold-filled beard pretty soon.
Yeah. Going to have it encased in glass.
Nice. All right. Well, listen, I can hear the collective anticipation of the answers to our trivia questions all around the world by people like Johan in Sweden and Pontiac Ken and everywhere else. So we should probably let these answers free.
All right, Kevin. I asked you, how did the Ford Fairlane get its name?
Right.
And you said it had to do with Henry Ford's estate named Fair Lane.
Yes.
That it was named after. I cannot believe you got that right. God dang it. Congratulations.
Fantastic.
And just a little bit of extra on there. He named his estate Fair Lane after the street in Ireland where his father was born, in County Cork. My buddy Robert went to the Henry Ford estate, the Henry Ford Museum.
Okay.
And he said, hey, check this out. Did you know that the Fair Lane was named after Fair Lane? I'm like, that's a trivia question. Thank you, sir.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Robert.
Yes. Thank you, Robert, for one that I knew. So that was
right
for that one. But this does trigger my curiosity about why that car got named Fair Lane. And you would think that it would have been like the Continental, like their most elaborate.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Because Henry's estate was certainly something. Fair Lane is that's not a small to mid-size entry-level house.
Right.
Like the car, you know what I'm saying?
It's not a starter home.
Right. No. All right, well, that's cool. So on the flip side, I asked you, there was a song from 1951 called Rocket 88. And it's pretty widely known that it was inspired by the car, the Oldsmobile Rocket 88. But why was the song significant? And you said because it was the first car-themed song that got into the Billboard Hot 100.
I can't believe I pulled that out of my keister like that.
I can't either, because you were kind of going one way and then boom, you just kind of brought that back around.
Yeah.
Well, the answer is not correct. But what got me is your word first, right? So Rocket 88 is widely regarded by a lot of people as the very first rock and roll song.
Oh, man, really?
Yeah. And there are those who don't think it is also, but many people believe that Rocket 88 was the first rock and roll song. And it was apparently, it reached number 1 on the Billboard R&B chart. It was inducted in the Blues Hall of Fame in 91 and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame singles in 2018. And the original recording was credited to Jackie Brenston and his Delta Cats, was the band, who were actually Ike Turner and the Kings of Rhythm.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So
oh, my gosh.
Now your homework assignment is to jump on YouTube and find a copy of the original Rocket 88 and check it out.
I'm going to be looking for that tonight. Absolutely.
It's kind of a bluesy rock and roll shuffle. It's a pretty neat song. But I have no idea why that one became my trivia question. I think I was trying to figure out the origins of the rocket. Why is the Oldsmobile called the Rocket 88?
I see.
Or where did the 88 come from was my question. And I didn't find that, but I found this. So
that was cool. That was a cool question.
Yeah. It would have been cooler if you knew it and got it right, but
it would be cooler, but you know what?
It was still cool.
It was a cool answer.
It was a great answer.
It was an answer that could have been right.
Yes. So
unlike
you
the
win.
swoopy dash bull crap.
That was fantastic. I still think that was one of your best answers. And we got a lot of comments from people online who really liked that answer too.
Hell yeah.
All right, my man. Well, this was fun. Again, I always appreciate the time.
You bet.
If you're listening to this, you're obviously listening to it. But if you want to listen to it somewhere else, we've got a lot of places where you can listen to it.
Like in the bathroom or in your garage or up in the attic, in the basement.
Yeah. Like my dad came out with a cheesecake one day and he said he whipped us up in his shorts.
Oh, Big Al, you're a card.
But as I was saying, if you really want to do us a solid, listen to this on the Podchaser website and or app, because we are in a solid number 2 position for automotive podcasts, and we're trying to be number 1 at something here, folks. So give us a hug and see if we can pull that off.
Do us a solid, please.
That's right. Yeah, but of course, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio. Stitcher, V8radio.com, Facebook,
Spotify.
I always forget Spotify. Yeah. Wherever you like to listen to us, in your shorts, in the can, whatever. We're appreciative that you do. So on that note, for Mr. Mike Q-Ball Clark, I'm Kevin Ostie, just reminding you to keep it under 100, and we will see you next time on VA Radio.